The last 3 days I made nothing else than searching, printing out and trying out Swiss Army knife related 3D printer projects. My goal was to find 3D printer files that provide an added value or an added function to the standard Swiss Army knife models. For me, as 3D printer beginner, it was unbelievable how many Swiss Army knife related 3D printer files I could find in the internet. There are hundreds of such projects on different 3D printer platforms. In this video I will present you my 15 favorite projects I found, from which I think they bring an added value or an additional function. I only choose printing files which you can download for free. And I promise you, in this video you got so many inspirations how you can extend the normal functions of a Swiss Army knife that this video is not only interesting for people who have access to a 3D printer. So stay tuned if this sounds interesting for you. Hello YouTube! Welcome to another Swiss Army knife workshop video. In this series I show you maintenance and customization tricks for your Swiss Army knife. A bit more than 1 year ago I bought my first 3D printer, a Bambolab Mini A1. I bought it because in this time I had some video ideas in my mind where a 3D printer was needed. My very first 3D printer project on this channel was a goniometer with which you can measure the exact cutting edge angle of knives. My second project was a fantastic Swiss Army knife cookie cutter. The links for this video you find here and in the description box below. So the first weeks after I bought this printer I used it very often. But after this time I used it maybe 2 or 3 times in 1 year. And this was the case until my friend Abdi came up with the idea to check out different 3D printer platforms for Swiss Army knife related content. And in addition I searched over Google with the terms Victorinox Swiss Army knife 3D printer models for other projects. And I tell you, for me it was just unbelievable how many Swiss Army knife related 3D printer projects I could find in the internet. And yes, of course, you will find also a lot of bullshit, but you find 1,000 different toothpicks in different lengths and sizes and I don't know. But I found also very interesting things. And that's why I want to present you now my 15 favorite Swiss Army knife related 3D printer projects. And just as a little information, I made all these projects on my Bambolab A1 Mini with a 0.4mm nozzle and normal PLA filament. All links from these projects you will find in the description box below. Let's start. This pocket clip is a first try success. He fits on 111mm knives and on 91mm knives. The disadvantage of this clip is the ergonomics, but this is only annoying if you work often and a long time with the knife. So I'm quite happy with this clip. If you prefer another clip, go on the internet and make a little research for a 3D model pocket clip and you will find 5, 6, 7 other clips super easy. All Swiss Army knife reamers have a cutting edge. This one. Most people don't realize if this cutting edge is dull because they don't use the Reamer often enough that they can feel the difference. A few years ago I made a video to the topic how to resharpen the Reamer. There I tried to measure the cutting edge angle of the Reamer and I measured about 48 degrees. How in hell should I know how much 48 degrees are if I resharpen freehand? That's why I showed you in this old video how to make a sharpening guide out of wood. Someone saw this old video and he made a sharpening helper with 48 degrees for the 3D printer. And to be honest, this is the better option. I like the Victorinox diamond sharpener. I use it since years. The disadvantage is it has just one grit on both sides, here and here. The advantage is it has the best diamond quality I know. If you feel more safe to resharpen a 2x20 degree knife with an angle guidance, this is your solution. I recommend to print it vertically instead of horizontally like this, because on the overhanging part this will happen. A frequently asking question is, Felix, why has Victorinox no plus scales for the 111mm knives? My answer is, I don't know, but here is your solution. So my experience with these scales is that they are quite precise, but they need a bit more strength to press them on the knife body. So be careful on this step. Two years ago I made a video where I showed you how you can insert an LED light into a normal 91mm scale. But to do that you have to be a little bit talented in manual work. A viewer of my channel took the time to make a 3D print file of such a 91mm scale. And I can say these scales are surprisingly precise. You have to do just a little bit manual work with a needle file. So the only thing I had to do was to file out this little channel for one leg of the LED. Yes. And the second thing was the LED light slimmer here in this part, here and here, so that the LED fits into this gap. Can you see that? Okay, now you can take the battery, hold it like this, so just put it in, so perfect, look at this. And I tell you, here, this works just great. I like it. Sometimes I think, for me as bushcrafter, it would be more valuable in many situations if I would carry a sewing needle in my Swiss Army knife instead of a normal pin needle, or however I should call it. The possibility to have both is of course the best option. And this is the reason why I took this little project into my selection. For me as outdoor freak, there is no doubt the possibility to carry a 4mm Firesteel in this length of my Swiss Army knife, this is a big plus. And a 4mm Firesteel is easy to purchase because this is a common size, and I like the rubber band to secure the Firesteel. I like it. I'm always amazed how many people the Victorinox dual sharpener use. For those who like the super simple sharpening style from the Spyderco Sharp Maker, this project will be a super valuable support. The first hole is 15 degrees. The second hole is 20 degrees. A Swiss Army knife out of the box has a cutting edge angle from 2 times 20 degrees. That's why I put the Victorinox dual sharpener in this hole, that's a 20-degree hole. And now all you have to do is to hold the knife exactly vertically, not horizontally, vertically, like this. Now you got the perfect sharpening angle. Then change it. In my opinion, this sharpening style is one of the easiest and best way how a beginner can sharpen his knives. So now to conclude the grinding topic, this is the classic Victorinox corundum stone. This is its holder with a 20-degree ramp. So put the corundum stone in the holder, hold it like this, and now you can sharpen the knife. Other side. This holder is an easy but helpful project. From such a PT bottle you can make cord. About 4 years ago I made a video where I showed you how you can make a cord cutter with a Swiss Army knife somewhere in the nature. This is a cord cutter out of the 3D printer. So let's try out if it works. So as you could see, this cord cutter works, but I would wish a much finer cord, or let's say it depends on what you want to do with the cord. So, but it's a fun project. Many technicians like the Cyber tool because of the bit holder and the plastic storage parts for the bits. How cool would it be if we could retrofit a normal 91mm Swiss Army knife with a bit holder and the storage part for the bits? This 3D printer part seems to provide a solution. Here we have the bit holder. This, and here we have the storage for 5 mini bits. The problem is, for this project we actually need 3 6mm magnets, which we can put in here, and we need a super strong filament, and this is normal PLA filament, and I don't have 6mm magnets. That's why we have to improvise a little bit on this project. Instead of a super strong filament, I take this mini bit holder. I cut it 4mm away from a mini bit holder, and I extend this hole a little bit and glue this one in. And instead of 6mm magnets, I take these 3mm magnets. Then I put it on the end of the bits and glue it in. So I hope this will work. So this is like the finished bit holder and bit storage part looks like. And I tell you, this glued in part of such a bit holder is for sure 10 times stronger than just the PLA plastic. And I tried it out, and you can easily screw little screws from something like this. Super easy. I show you. Believe it or not, that works fantastic. And of course, you can't make heavy duty tasks on your car. But for open and close little screws from plastic parts, it's more than enough. So I like this project. I really like to have a plus scale with a ballpoint pen on my Swiss Army knives. During carving, I often have to draw in a contour or a measurement or have to number something. And for that, a ballpoint pen is fantastic. Only a few models from Victorinox has a plus scale as standard. That means, if you want to add a plus scale for a camper, a hiker, a huntsman or whatever, you have to buy a plus scale. So to buy a plus scale is possible, but it's not that easy because you can't buy on Victorinox website a plus scale. So you have to go to eBay or another platform, and the plus scale costs maybe $7, I don't know. But if you have a 3D printer and if you are happy with the design, you can print out a plus scale in 15 minutes. And that's why this project belongs to my favorites. No doubt I would like to have a ruler on my Swiss Army knife scales, and these are even plus scales. So I tried out two different files. The first file, this was a ruler with inch and millimeter, and this file was made for a 2-color print, and I guess also for a smaller nozzle, because the quality of the print is disappointing. Here on this file we have also a plus scale with a slot for an SD card, and the scale himself from the ruler is okay, but the numbers, I don't know, doesn't work on my printer. So in this case I was not successful, but if you ask me if I want to have a scale with a ruler on it, I would say yes, please. No doubt, such a little emergency whistle is always useful. If you are lost in the forest, for example. And this one works super, it's very loud. And hey, in this case, you can store your treasure. What a beauty! I mean, the knife and the case. I like it. So my friends, I hope this was an interesting video for you. If you know other interesting Swiss Army knife related 3D printer content, please send me the link in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you in 2 weeks. Tschüss.